People, Deluded, I'm back again here with the PL reviews of these players. Now obviously specific to the Premier League, it's been a long season, you know, there's not too many players, if any, in this Arsenal team that can say, you know, they've had good seasons. If they can from an individual perspective, you know, from a collective it's been disappointing, and the collective is all that matters really and truly. In relation to Lacazette, we might as well, or I might as well offer my opinions on how I felt the player's been over the course of the year. For Lacazette, out of 10, you know, I'd give him, just generally I'd give him a 5 out of 10. But for him, that is mediocre. It's almost a lower 5. If I was being harsh, I'd say 4 out of 10. You know, there is a case that, in fact, it probably is a 4 out of 10 for Lacazette. Purely because, you know, Lacazette, my challenge was to get closer to 20 league goals. You look at last season, people, forgive me if I'm wrong. In fact, I've made a mess of this. Last season he got 13 goals, 10 assists in the league. You know, that's 7 off 20. You know, the season before that he got 14 goals, 5 assists. This year he obviously in 30 appearances got 10 goals, 6 assists. So in isolation they're not the worst of numbers. And I think Lacazette's a decent player. I do. I really think, you know, ultimately strikers live or die by scoring. You know, he has to, you know, if you can't get 20 league goals, for me, you can only reach a certain level. You know, I really rate him and Firmino. I'm not one that likes to battle the both. I like both of them, but they can only be rated so high if they're not coming with goals and assists. I get what they offer their teams and all of these things. They're both good players and should definitely score more. You know, Firmino's taken how long to score at Anfield. Lacazette, you know, he scores in big games. He's a big game player, but his returns are mediocre. And in the grand scheme of things, with the way the game's gone, 50-odd million isn't the worst of fees spent. And I think he's been a decent player. But, you know, if we was to look at it on a non-biased thing, has Lacazette been value for money? I think yes, but I also think no. You know, I think he's a big game player. You know, I think if whether he scores or not, he puts in a shift. He didn't score or assist in the FA Cup against Man City, but he played very well. He obviously, since the restart, has found a bit of form, people. You know, he's bagged against Liverpool, he scored a screamer against Spurs, scored in the reverse fixture against Spurs as well. He's always up for the big games. Actually put in a shift, if I remember rightly. It was either United at home or away, I could be wrong. He puts in a shift. I like Lacazette. I think he's good in isolation as a squad player. But if we was to look at it, you know, it's clear to see why we moved for Aubameyang and shortly why Lacazette's here. Because for all his strengths, he's not of the caliber to rely on and get 20 league goals. You know, we could rely on Aubameyang as the sole striker. You can't rely on Lacazette like that. And I like Lacazette. I think he, you know, on his day he's very good, and he's shown what confidence can do for you. You know, he was on a sort of mini goal drought before, and he bagged at the Emirates. I can't remember who it was against. It could have even been Newcastle. And we all saw what it meant to the players. Was it against Southampton? He bagged 2 goals to get us in there. Like I said, highlight one of the goals of the season from an Arsenal perspective. He scored an absolute screamer against Spurs. He's been, you know, he's found his form of late. He's found his feet. But definitely in terms of Lacazette being at this club, at periods this season was the lowest I saw him. Your confidence is always going to be hit. His confidence looks shot. You know, when Lacazette isn't scoring, there were times the link-up play wasn't quite there. Things you kind of give Lacazette a blight for not scoring because he comes with it weren't quite there. You know, he looks slow and stuff. It looks like he's had injuries and he's lost his place, and there's been things that's been going wrong. But it's been the most hardest season to watch him as an Arsenal fan. It's probably been his hardest season in his career. Probably his hardest season statistically as an Arsenal player. And the lowest his stock's fallen, you know. I'm a big Lacazette fan. I'll scream his songs until, you know, my voice box is gone. But I must admit, when I talk with friends about who stays and who goes, I'm the most open to selling Lacazette as I've ever been. And his future depends on what we're doing with Aubameyang. And Aubameyang should be the priority. But Lacazette's a good player. But the target I set him was to score 20 league goals. And, you know, he's got half, but it's not good enough. You know, it's his lowest league return. He was our player of the year last year. He's not in the nomination, so you've clearly been poor. You know, at a time he lost his place to Eddie Nketiah, and Eddie's only scored 2 goals in the league since coming back from January from Leeds. So, you know, and again, it's credit to Eddie because he backed himself, he trained hard, and, you know, it doesn't matter who you are if you train well and whatnot. But to see that, really, if we're being harsh, a man who went on his first loan spell and couldn't even play for Leeds, just as a harsh way of looking at it, took your place, then your stock really has fallen because he's not scoring goals, but he deemed that he's a better option for the team. And Lacazette, you know, when you think of Arsenal, you should be thinking of Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe, and the rest of it, the star sort of man. So yeah, man, I think he's played well in big games as you always get with Lacazette, but he struggled, man. He struggled to score consistently. He's gone on goal droughts, you know, even disregarding the goals and assists, because he's still up there for both and shows our mediocre returns. He just hasn't been playing with the same way Lacazette has been playing. Like I said, he's found his form for us at the right time, because we're hoping he can do something on Saturday in the final. But I'm prepared to say 5 out of 10. For me personally, I believe it's a 4 out of 10 for Lacazette, because I think he's a better player than he's played this season. It probably is, you know. I'd say 4.5, you know. I'd say a 4.5 out of 10, you know. A part of me wants to give him a 5 because he's found form towards the end. A part of me, the cerebral part of me, says there's no way around it other than a 4 out of 10. And you know, Lacazette himself said, it's not nice to be on the bench, but in my life I've had moments that were a lot more complicated and I did not doubt myself. It wasn't really doubt, it was more unhappiness, like every player who's on the bench and wants to play. So it's nice to see he still had confidence in his ability. And it's nice to see, but as a fan, I did think you lost confidence. Lacazette, it did look like you was feeling sorry for yourself, or you did look unsure of yourself in the games. But it's nice to see that. And obviously, you're not going to be happy on the bench. But if you was playing like how you are now, you wouldn't be on the bench. You know, it is what it is. So that's all I've got to say in relation to Lacazette. Hopefully, he can do his part in bringing us the FA Cup home on Saturday. On that note, though, people, DG.